Hey everybody, welcome back. So today we're going to be doing Asta and his demon Leibe. So Leibe's on his shoulder, he's in that little small demon form. And he's got Yami's sword, I think just like in front of his face. So, kind of a close-up on him. Head cut off, sort of, from his fringe, right? So, landscape paper. Use a pencil and an eraser. Sketch it out lightly first, you know, so you can erase your mistakes, all that kind of stuff. So we start with his eyes, right? So, center point about here on my page. This is like the center horizontally, center vertically. So middle point where those two lines cross about here. And we're just going to come up and start his eyes up in this top half, right? And we leave a little bit of room for the top of his head. So, let's go. So we'll go diagonal first, right, for the eyelid. Just bring it up, right? And then it like hooks down to there. And you gotta thicken this line up, so it's not just like a single line, it's like a real thick sort of black line, right? So you'll just add a bit more weight to it, like you'll go around the edge. And you know, you got a bit of wiggle room, you know, you don't have to make it as thick as mine, it doesn't have to be as thin as mine, but we're just looking for this sort of darker kind of effect, just to show that they're kind of eyelashes, right? Something like that. And then his bottom eyelid kind of curves around here. Now this is like a single line, so like not a thick line, just comes around the bottom like that. And then he could have some lines like coming around the bottom of his eyes because he's been fighting, stressed out and stuff. And then his iris from the top of the eyelid curves around back into there. And then his pupil in the middle here. Kind of just touching his top eyelid because his head is a little bit tilted forward, right? So if you imagine like his head comes forward and he has to look up at the camera. Say, imagine we're the camera, the viewer, right? He's looking right at us. So in the other eye. So same sort of thing, right about here. I'd say he could fit about half of his eye in between, you know, the distance between, because in Demon Slayer, we're not in proportion with the eyes. The eyes are bigger than standard, right? So it's about half an eye width in there. This eye, half this will fit in between, roughly speaking. It's not exact. And then this goes up diagonally again. And then we hook it around the back, similar to this, and then we thicken sorry. And then we thicken it up. Right, something like that. And then the bottom eyelid, again, a sort of more single sort of line that comes around here. Okay, so then his pupil, same sort of shape to this one. You kind of just curve it around like so. Doesn't have to be the exact same, but we'll go around the bottom, up into there. And this eye is like a cat's eye. It's like longer, so it's like, you know, this kind of thing, because it's his demon eye, or devil eye, should I say? Right, like that. So eyebrows and eyelid lines and things, right? So eyebrow sort of starting here, frowning quite heavily, ticks up this way. Right, real pointy sort of eyebrows, and then we go back down to there. Kind of goes underneath his hair on this side, and on this side, like right right sort of here. Take up. And then bring it back down. It gets wider as we go down to the front, down to there. And then eyelid line comes up, sort of down here. And the same thing on this side, up, down here, like so. Nose wise, we'll just go down and add some nostrils sort of down here, right? Just like 1 or 2. Well, 2, but it's behind the sword, you can't see them all, so we'll just add like 2 there. I'm not sure if Asta has like shadows on his nose, but the sword comes right up so we can't see it, but we'll just do that just so we know where the nose is, kind of, because the sword comes right like up across to about here on his face. So mouth curves across just underneath the nose here. Big smile, right? Closed at the minute, but we'll open it up. So we just like curve it around here, bring it down, right? And curve it around the other side, bring it down. If you notice, we're kind of like underneath his eyes here. That's where the edge of his mouth is. And then we go around, back up to here. And then teeth inside. On this side, we've got like fangs, right? Like a fang there. And then this just curves across up this side, kind of normal. And then we got a fang on the bottom, sticking up here. And then this comes across, like so. And then we can just see the back of his teeth, kind of here. That you can add black shadow in there if you want, or color it red. It's red in the picture I'm drawn from, so for the inside of his mouth, like a dark red. So I'll do that. I'll just copy the picture. Right, so his chin just here, again covered by the sword, but we'll draw it in anyway. So it's kind of pointy chin, like so. And like I'd say, like top of his eyelid to his nose, say here, like top eyelid to nose, or like nostrils to maybe like the top of his eye actually, because the eyes are so big. So I would say like here to here, right? The top of his, where the eye meets the eyelid line, the top of his iris to his nostrils, about the same as nostrils to chin. So your nostril is about halfway between here and here, roughly, right? So that's kind of the proportion of his face you want to work with, right? His mouth's open, so there's not like a great amount of proportion here, but if you had to pick a spot, I'd say nostril to bottom teeth, about the same as bottom teeth to chin. But when the mouth is open, it changes all that kind of stuff. Right, so then jaw. Up that way, right? And then jaw up that way. And then this will start to curve around and go up towards the side of his head. And we're stopping about here because he's got like all hair sticking out, okay? Right, so he's got like all fringe and hair and stuff sticking out from under his headband. So we'll draw in that headband. So it's like comes across the front of his head, top of his head here. Like that. And then we can add these hair spikes that come across his head here. So like coming across here. And if you have to erase any lines afterwards, we can. You know, like the lines we shouldn't see underneath his hair. So like that. And then some coming down the middle of his face beside his eyebrow here. Like so. on here. Right, and then this piece of hair comes back up into there. Like so. Right, so his headband kind of keeps going up this way on the side, and like a little bit less here because you got the horn, right? And then there is hair spikes sticking out here. Big one kind of sticks up here and goes back into here or into there. And this has like some texture lines on it, like so. And then another one on this side. Comes down into the hair there. And of course it's like it's all black on this side and white on this side. Right, so like up here we've got some like hair fringe sticking down onto the headband, right? So we'll just do this. These sort of small sort of spikes that stick across here. It's a very easy image to find as well if you're looking for it on Google. Asta Leibe, I think, is what I searched for, and it was there. Like so. Right, and then the headband will go underneath this, so it'll just like come across between the gaps here, all across like so. And then he's got his devil horn on the side here, so it curves around like so first, and then it'll like come down this way, come to a spike sort of here, back up, and then go around the back of his head. And if you want, you can add texture lines to this, so like this kind of stuff. Like that. And then we have the red mark here. I can't see the bold symbol. It's usually on that side. It's not in this picture. I wonder, should it be? I don't know. Well, I'll let you, if you look up the image and you want to add the black bulls crest, you can. And then like hair goes off this way with some texture lines and stuff. Just there like that. He's got a scar coming across his face. Well, it's not a scar really, it's the sort of black devil stuff comes across his eye here. Like so. Some lines around his eye there. Then his ears, so an ear on this side. Bones and ligaments and things on the inside there. And then on the other side, sort of in line with it, so here. And then up underneath there somewhere. Like so. Right, so shoulders and arms, right? Two arms coming down holding the sword. That's like right in the middle, okay? So we've got maybe a neckline here, right, and a neckline here, and then we have trapezius muscle coming that way, trapezius muscle coming this way, right? And then, so he's quite muscly, right? So big sort of round shoulder coming out here, like that. And on this side he has a white shirt on, sort of, right? So it like comes down this way, and this has all like black energy and stuff coming across it, and the sword is right up the middle. So say like this sort of shirt line comes across and down here, and then it goes back for the inside of it, sort of this way, right? And the shoulder will come out from here around around like this. And then his tricep. And then his elbow down there. And then the bicep is across from the tricep, right? So comes across this way, down. And then his forearm curves down that way, right? He's got all veins and stuff on his arm as well. So say like here. So you can add them anywhere you want, right? So you just start with these kind of snaking sort of lines. Right, like this kind of thing. And you add sort of a line in there. There's maybe another one on his arm here. Like that. Right, and the other arm on this side, similar sort of shape, right? So tricep comes down there. Forearm. Just these curving sort of bumps. Similar sort of size to them. Right, they're kind of equal in sort of length. Sort of. Roughly. And then bicep here on this side comes out again, down like so, and then the forearm curves out again down to here, and it goes into the hilt of the sword down here, and the sword comes up across. I guess we'll draw the sword in, right? So that it goes straight up. Well, it bends out. It's a samurai sword, so it kind of gets wider up here and gets pointier into here, and it's just right underneath his hair, right? So the sharp point of it will be here, right? And so when you're doing like a straight object that you want, so we want to bend it, right? Now sketching it lightly with a pencil is definitely a must, but I want this to come out and then back in, so you can like use a ruler to do that. You just have to gradually change the trajectory like this. So as you're drawing, it's a bit of a tricky trick, and sort of you need to get used to it, but it like bends in gradually as you draw. So see, I'm like slightly moving it. Until I'm sort of, see, it's kind of curving. And then it eventually will go down into there, right? And then we'll try and sort of tidy it up, right? Kind of thing like this, right? And it is a black sword, so do the same thing sort of here. So it kind of bends out and goes in. Let me try this one. Sort of freehand. And then I'll clean it up with the ruler. So we'll just like kind of like that, and then we'll right like that, and then we'll just erase any lines we shouldn't see inside here. Right, so then we have the hilt of the sword behind here, so it just like bumps down this way. the handle or the wrist guard, like that, and then there's like this pattern on it, like a flower sort of coming around here, like so. And there's like gaps inside. Like that, and then there's some details in here for like devil sort of power coming across this side of his body. Okay, so there's this red sort of lightning coming down his arm like this. Kind of, you're thinking it kind of looks like a tree branch, or you know, coming across his arm this way, goes down like so. And that's all colored red inside, and this is black. And then there's like black stuff coming across here. So again, it's kind of spiky, kind of, you know, kind of random. It doesn't have to be exactly like mine now. You know, I'm looking at the picture here, and mine isn't exactly like the picture once you just get the pattern sort of and the direction. So some will go underneath the sword and come out the other side. Right, so say like here. On his body on this side as well. Right, these kind of spikes, and they're all colored black. And you might have like a faux line for his clothing here, like that. Okay, so then he's got like a big wing coming off the page this way, right? Boop, off that way. And on this side we've got more of this spiking energy, right? And every now and then you could have some floating away, sort of coming off his body, like that. And then on his shoulder, right, he has Leibe, right, and he's tiny little guy, pretty cartoonish looking. Okay, and there's a couple more hair spikes actually behind his head first. We'll do that first. So like a spike here, because Leibe is actually sitting behind his hair, right? So one here, and then another one just kind of underneath his ear here. Right. So, right, so this little guy's down here, right? So on his shoulder, so we just do his head or his chin, curved line like this first. Right, and then his ears, pretty simple, just like that. And then he's got hair spikes similar to Asta, right, to come across his head, just like this, and then a fringe, like so, coming around. You can have some texture and stuff on his hair if you want. Right, so then his eyes are in here. And they're just white sort of on the inside when he's in this form. He's no pupils or anything like that. And then mouth, like so. And it's open in the picture I'm drawing from, so we'll just bring it across, and then some teeth, like that. So he also has a horn up here, smaller than Asta's. Just comes around like so, and you can add some texture to it, like that. And then the rest of his hair spiking up around, goes under Asta's head there, down into here, and just some texture on these. Like so. And then, so his body and arms, right? So simply drawn sort of little arms coming out here, like some fingers, 3 of them it looks like, just like kind of like that, right? And then on the other side, it's around like so. And his body's just here, like that. He's all coloured black, and he's got these 2 little wings. This one actually goes over Asta's face, and then we got like some spikes on the bottom, and then the other side, spikes on the bottom, like so. And then the tail, his tail comes out like so. He's got like a spike on the end, kind of looks like a love heart, like that. And then maybe some more of Asta's hair just in behind. And that's it. Oh no, wait, nearly. I forgot the line that comes right down the middle of the sword. Nearly forgot that. Right, so say here. Sort of there. And there's some more actual, like his collarbone here, collarbone there, neck muscle, like so. Right, so that's everything. That's how to draw Asta and his devil. Hope it was helpful, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.